Okay, sir.
Okay, take her into the 5. Oh, you're back.
March called in sick today, Sue. So Mr. Ellis says we should split tables.
Oh, okay.
There's hardly a job where listening and speaking skills aren't important. To show you these skills in action and to give you some idea of how to make good use of them, we're going to visit a few job locations. We'll start here at the filling station we saw before. This is Mr. Turner, the owner. Mr. Turner?
Yes, can I help you?
We're getting some ideas about listening and speaking skills. Can we talk for a minute?
Sure.
Take someone like your attendant over there.
Oh, that's Don. He just started about a month ago, I guess.
What about his listening and speaking skills?
Well, that's pretty much why he got the job.
Well, sir, you're down about a quart. Okay.
When he came to see me about the job, I liked the way he talked right from the start. You know, there's a difference in our work between saying to a customer, "What's yours, bud?" and saying, "Good morning, sir. Would you like a tank full of premium?" His attitude was good, too, and he sold himself.
Well, it's like I told you over the phone. I'll be able to start working any shift, but I guess I should tell you I don't have a lot of garage experience.
Well, I, of course, couldn't expect a young fellow like you to have...
I liked his honesty, and he asked pretty good questions about the job, and that showed me that he was really interested in it.
Well, Don, I think we'll start you out on the driveway. I need you out there first. And then after you've had a little experience, I can get you into the garage so you can learn about the shop work.
Sounds great. I know I can sell gas and oil, and I learned a lot about engines when I rebuilt this old jalopy last month. A friend of mine had this jalopy, swore it'd never run again.
Well, that's good, Don.
So Don told you enough about himself to convince you that he could do the job.
Come on out here in the shop.
In some job interviews, you have to talk to more than one person. Did Don see anyone else besides you?
He saw Bill, our mechanic. He runs the place when I'm off.
What did Don say to him?
Well, he pretty well told Bill what he told me, the truth about himself. And I'm sure he listened carefully to make sure both of us agreed on what he'd be doing.
I was wondering, what kind of work do you think I'd be doing?
Well, Don, right now, you'd be mostly outside. But don't worry about not getting a shot at the garage, because it gets mighty busy. Maybe I can help you by showing you around.
So what you're saying is, if you see more than one person when you apply for a job, don't contradict yourself. And make sure the people you talk to agree on what your job will be. Right?
Well, that way everyone knows where he stands.
So, listening and speaking skills are important in getting a job. But of course, that's not where they end. Let's visit this construction site near Don's gas station and see how these skills are important on the job. Jim? Jim? What listening and speaking skills would you say are important on your job?
I'd say following and giving directions. Your training teaches you the trade, but whether you're on the labor crew or driving a truck or on a bulldozer, it's being able to follow and give directions that makes a man good on a job like this.
Raise your buck. Raise your buck. Come forward. Stop the engine from your truck with your tires. Okay, help her slowly.
Anything special you do, Jim, when you give instructions?
Well, you have to think through what you say. And you talk loud and clear, using words everyone understands.
All right. Think it out, organize it, then say it so everyone understands. Is that it?
Now you got it. I've seen entire sewer lines torn out or some fella get hurt just because some guy forgot to do just that. Why, the other day, the foreman was telling Ted to have Frank move a pile of dirt back towards the site over there.
Hey, Frank! Boss says move this pile of dirt back the hole.
Ted tried to tell Frank to put the dirt back of the hole, but Frank thought he said back in the hole. We had to dig out the hole all over again.
What about when you listen to instructions? Anything special you should do?
Well, you mainly listen to learn the procedure, but you also want to listen close to find shortcuts or better ways to do something. Like the time the end loader broke down.
Machine's down, Jim. We'll have to put you on something else. In the meantime, make out a shop ticket.
Okay, fine.
Jim, this machine's going to be down for 3 or 4 days for repairs. In the meantime, why don't
So
you...
Steve figured for a big delay, but listening to him, I saw a way to save time. So, till this loader's fixed, I'll switch to... Hey, wait a minute. Isn't Bob's crew done most of their loading already? Why don't we use one of their machines?
Hey, Jim, real good idea. I'll check into it. Meanwhile, make out the report.
By thinking while he listened, Jim found a shortcut. That kind of careful listening is also important on Don's job at the gas station.
Okay, Don. Mr. Larson's car needs an oil change, a lube job, a tune-up, and take a real good look at the brake.
Good listening helps you get just about any job done right. Here at this restaurant, Helen is a waitress. Helen, we're talking about using listening and speaking skills on different jobs. What about on your job here in the restaurant?
I didn't think there were any skills at first. But, well, I found out there's more to listening than just using your ears.
Helen.
Excuse me.
Helen, Marge called in sick today, so you'll have to split her tables with Sue. And when you're not busy, would you try to help out at the counter, please?
Okay. Which of Marge's tables should I cover, Mr. Eller?
Oh, yes, I guess I should have told you that. Why don't you take tables 10 to 15 over against the wall?
Thinking while listening is important. I'm not afraid to ask questions when I don't understand. It's also a good idea to repeat what you've been told. You can save a lot of mistakes that way, like Sue's doing.
Roast beef, medium well, 1 salad with French and 2 coffees. I'll get your coffee now.
So you repeat instructions and you ask questions about things you're not sure of. Just common sense. Listening and speaking are a basic part of Helen's job. Her work is a matter of communication with many people. But communication during a workday isn't always about your job. At a break, Steve and Jim are having a friendly talk. So are Bill and Don. Are speaking and listening skills important during these casual conversations? Well, let's go back to Helen's restaurant. It's a little later now. Ken, Joan, and Lou work together in a nearby office. They're on break. Let's listen in on their conversation.
Oh, well, there was a great TV special on last night.
There's never anything good on TV.
Anyway, as I was saying,
Let me tell you something. I haven't seen a good program on TV in 3 years.
Lou, would you please let Joan finish?
Hey, I gotta get back early.
Well, nice having coffee with you. I'll see you.
Do you have coffee with Lou very often?
Only when it can't be avoided.
This affects your working relationship, doesn't it?
Well, yes, it does. After all, he never listens. He always interrupts. You don't make many friends on the job that way.
Yeah, you're right. That kind of guy doesn't make friends on or off the job.
So having good speaking and listening skills in casual situations means that you make contributions. You move the conversation along, but you give everyone a chance. That's just common sense, too. On many jobs, there are meetings of the employees. Those are good times for the workers to review their responsibilities and make suggestions. Good speaking and listening skills help you speak effectively to a group and be part of a group, too.
Hi, fellas.
Morning.
Say, now that I've got you all together here, let's have that meeting that I told you about yesterday. Let's see, Bill, how are things in the shop?
Well, they're okay by my records. And last week, the racks were pretty well filled. And with the cold weather coming on now, I think we have everything we need, with the exception of antifreeze.
It seems that Bill is well prepared. He organized what he had to say ahead of time. Bill is doing something else very well. Call it emphasizing. Emphasizing is simply making the important words sound important. Listen.
You know, I've been thinking, if we move Don to the racks and we take Jack and have him cover the whole driveway, we'll be able to catch up all around.
Notice that Bill also gave enough details to make everyone see why his comment was important.
Don, what do you see going on?
Well, I have noticed something, Mr. Turner.
One important listening skill is being able to take suggestions.
And the West Pump just had one car. I think if Jack and I helped spread the cars this week, moved cars to empty pumps, we'd probably be able to handle the evening rush a lot better.
What are you talking about? Nobody told me to do that.
Jack, will you tone down a minute? Don's making a good point. It's worth considering.
From this meeting at the filling station, you've learned two things to do at any meeting. Make your points persuasively and politely the way Don did, and listen with an open mind, something Jack didn't do. So we've seen listening and speaking on the job.
Oh, say, Don, you know, Bill is taking his 2 weeks vacation, and I think I'll give you a chance to run the shop. What do you say?
Sounds great.
Don's listening and speaking skills are helping him move ahead. These skills are so important that they may cause you problems if you don't use them well.
Ed, Frank said you told him to put that dirt back in the hole.
No, I didn't. Brian mistook me.
You can develop and improve your listening and speaking skills on your job. It just takes a little thought and practice.